Hello, the Average Cyclist here. So I've finally, after about 8 years of my last Giant TCR, bought a new one, and this is Giant TCR Advanced Disc Zero. So in the range, the Zero essentially comes with Shimano Di2, so it's the top of the advanced range, and above that you've got the Advanced Pro, which comes with, I think, slightly better frame and better wheels. These wheels that it comes with are PR2s, I think. They're not that great. I think they're up at nearly 2 kilos, which is a hell of a lot considering on my last bike, I know they were rim brake, but they were just under 1.5 kilos, so probably an upgrade coming there. But the big thing on this is that it's got the new Shimano Ultegra R8100 on it, which is 12 speed and also wireless. So each of the shifters are wireless, and then the battery for the derailleurs is still in the seat post, and then the two derailleurs talk to each other by the little wire that you can see there. So that's 12 speed. This is the first bike that they actually had in the Bristol Giant store with this on, and they had an absolute nightmare trying to get the hoods to connect to the derailleur. They just wouldn't pair at all, and it was just when that storm was around, and they thought it was the batteries that were dead in here. They take like a little 1632 I don't know what you call it, like a watch button cell battery thing, and they couldn't get hold of those because the shops were closed because of the wind. And the guy in there, he said that he spent probably 10 hours just trying to get the group talking to each other, but eventually he came in on Monday morning and thought he'd have one last go, disconnected everything, unpaired the all of the components from the app, started from scratch, and then it worked. So God knows what that was. Good news for me, I managed to get hold of an 1134 cassette. So this on the turbo is the cassette it came with, which is 1130, and then because I'm a faddy bum bum, I've got the 1134 on the actual wheel for when I go right outside, and I also got them to set up the bike with GP 5000s and 28 instead of the tubeless Giant wheels, Giant tires that it comes with. They are tubeless. I didn't really want to faff around with that, so I've just gone tubes with these. A couple of things to point out with the derailleur is that it's a little bit smaller than the previous version of Di2. There's a port up here for charging, and there is a little button somewhere under here. There's a little button here which you enter pairing mode with, so you can connect it to the app. You can adjust everything via your phone now on the eTube app. It's really easy. Now it's working. I haven't had any problems just as yet. Coming up here to look at the shifters, these I've had a bit of a redesign as well. So they've kind of taken the approach that SRAM have. So there's no, on the older version of the Ultegra, there was sort of a pivot point here which came out, whereas on this it's sort of all integrated in here, and they feel really nice. First time I've actually had hydraulic discs on any bike. I had a old mountain bike which was mechanical discs a long time ago, but yeah, really impressed with how these feel. There's a little extra button on the top which you can page through your Wahoo, but the overall feel and shape of the hoods is really nice. And of course it's 12 speed, not that really makes any difference. Up the top here I've put my sort of clip-on aero bars on, mainly because when I'm on the turbo I put the iPad in in here, and I am hopefully going to enter a triathlon, a couple of triathlons, a super sprint and a sprint later in the year, so I will be using the bars there. And I also picked up this snazzy little Wahoo mount which connects directly to the front of your stem and has the GoPro attachment there. So this is like £8 or something on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description, but that's really really quite a snazzy little mount. And then slightly unorthodox positioning of the bell, but I like to have one on the bike somewhere. So this bike frame is a medium, so I've gone up. My previous one was a small. I sit pretty much exactly halfway between the two sizes, which means the cranks on here are 172.5mm, so my power meter doesn't fit, so I do need to get a new power meter because I can't transfer it across because it's on the crank. So that's one thing that I'm going to do. And then, like I said, I'll get some new wheels. Probably going to go for some Hunt carbon 50mm hoops. The bike weighed in with the GPs on and the slightly heavier cassette with the 34 teeth at 8.2 kilos, which is quite a bit more than my previous bike, which was 7.5, I think. But I think it's probably half a kilo to lose on the wheels, and you know, it's got hydraulic discs, and you know, there's a battery in there, so I expected it to be a little bit more. I've already put on these little like pro name tags, which I really like. I had it on my last bike, and these are a really good gift if you've got a cycling friend or other half. And I think it's like £5, but a nice little touch. And I've obviously got mine here with the Dorset flag. I have ridden Di2 a few times before. Both times only for short periods while trialling bikes at the Birmingham Bike Show, and I mean, I was impressed with the previous version, but the speed of shifting on here is just absolutely phenomenal. I cannot believe how much better it is than just mechanical shifting. If you can afford it, it's obviously fairly expensive upgrade, and you can get hold of the parts, which is probably more of a problem at the moment. Then it is just phenomenal. I haven't ridden the bike outside yet. I've only used it on the turbo. I'm trying to be careful with my knees, but hopefully I'll get a few hundred miles into it and I'll do a bit more of a real world review once I know what I'm on about. So here you can see how they've updated the Microspine, not sure what it's called, the pattern in there where the cassette sits onto the free hub body. It's got these tiny little teeth now rather than the wider ones. Somehow I think everything's still compatible. One other thing to note is that my chain whip is actually a little bit too fat to sit on here, which makes it a little bit harder to change the cassette just because the teeth are closer together. And I've had this whip for, I don't know, 10 years or something. So I've just connected my Wahoo to the Di2 system on the bike, and the extra little buttons you get on the top of the hoods now control paging. So this button on this hood controls the right button here, and then on the left hood it controls the left button on here. And you'll also see that you get the cool little diagram which tells you which gear in and you can also configure your Wahoo so it knows what the gear ratios are, and I assume it's going to save that data and also allow me to view it maybe in Strava if I'm lucky, but I'm pretty sure it'll be in the Wahoo app. So thanks for listening. I do hope to get out on this and start making a few more videos. I will do another one once I get a new power meter and the wheels, and also once I've got to play with the Groupset a little bit more. There doesn't seem to be much content at all on YouTube about the new Ultegra Ultra Race Groupset, so I will try to not leave it too long, but it's difficult with being very busy at work and a little one. But I'll put some links in the description, and if you have any questions then just drop them in the comment section and I'll get back to you.